Hey, it's Matt Webley here. Hope you're doing all right. So I've got to be honest, I'm solo drinking on my own in Dubai, on the balcony on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah, on my own. And I am a little bit, I don't know how to say the word because you're not really meant to swear in Dubai, but pittled, for want of another word. But I thought of a good video. And I'm just having a chill day, right? I'm just having a chill day. Like, I just need to decompress. So I am decompressing with a JD honey and coke on my own. And yeah, I thought of a video, and I thought I got to make this video because to the right person, this would be life-changing, game-changing. And even though I'm a bit sozzled, it's going to be all right. So, and that is, right, if you have an audience, if you're a content creator or a community owner, so if you own a Facebook group, a Discord server, a school group, or if you're a TikToker, if you've got an audience on YouTube or Instagram Reels or whatever, if you've got an audience or a community, i.e. a collection of people, then you can absolutely make a fortune, and I'm going to tell you how in this video. And this is a bad hook because I'm 1:30 in before saying that. I should have said that first. And then I should have told you I'm actually pittled. But never mind. I'm a casual YouTuber. If I had to edit it and think about all the stuff I know that you have to do to have a successful YouTube channel, like the hook, the setup, the payoff, the titles, all that stuff, keywords and descriptions. If I had to do all that, I wouldn't do it. So I'm a very casual YouTuber, literally getting drunk on my balcony in Dubai making videos. That's how casual I am. This is not very professional, and this, if you were a professional, this should scare you off from ever working with me, because I'm clearly, I'm not an alcoholic, I don't drink very much, but today I'm drinking, and I'm not professional enough to keep work away from business, even though I'm not really working today. I've done a little bit, I'm not doing much. Yeah, so anyway, when you're free pouring, you don't even know how bad it is. I just went to kiss Holly in the shower and she went, "Oh, you really are drunk. You almost gassed me." Those were her words. So I must be pretty drunk right now. But anyway, look, one of my skill sets is launching to audiences. If I wasn't doing this AI SaaS stuff, I would say, if you had to say, what's your best skill set in the world, Matt? The best skill set in the world that I have, I would say it's launching digital products to an audience. That's what I'm best at. If you had to nail down my number one skill, it's that, okay? So if you have a niche audience, either in a community or you're a content creator, and you have an audience of people, especially if they are all congregated around a certain kind of niche or thing that you talk about. So let's say, I don't want to say anything, but typically speaking, it's the health, wealth, relationship categories. So if you're loosely connected to health, loosely connected to wealth, or loosely connected to relationships or happiness, and there's an extra one that I always throw in there, passionate hobbies. If you have an audience or you're a content creator in this space, you can make an absolute fortune with what I'm about to tell you next. So that is building your own AI SaaS, so software as a service. And this can even be for people with a client base. So if you're an accountant, you've got a couple hundred clients, perfect. Or if you're a whatever and you've got some clients that you work with on an ongoing basis, this is perfect. So you build a software as a solution, software as a service. Oh my God, have you heard me? How many times have I said software as a service on this channel? I've literally been doing it for the last 8-9 years of my life. Software as a service, and here's me saying software as a solution. I think software as a solution is probably better. It's actually better. I think I've just invented something. I invented the sensor spray, by the way. Not actually, but I told my mates in a pub about this idea that I had about, imagine an air freshener that only squirts when it detects you walking past it. So essentially you're not wasting 24 hours a day. Let's say you don't go in a room, it's in your dining room and you only go in on a Sunday. You don't go in your dining room any other day, and you've got this air freshener like a way of using itself. Imagine if it only sprayed when you walked past it. I invented that a few months after me coming out with that, and that was a novel idea, no one had done it before. A few months after me mentioning it to my mates in a pub. Yes, they invented it, and then they're everywhere. Just a PIR sensor, PIR detector on a air freshener. It's just one of those things, and it's like I didn't do anything with it. I didn't sell the idea, I didn't patent the idea, I didn't develop the idea, but I did think of it. Anyway, random tangent, blame the beer. So, if you've got a community or an audience, you can create a software as a service that serves your community, audience, or client base. So all you got to do is look at the problems that your community, audience, or client base have. So what problems do they have? What problems keep coming up? Right? There's going to be something that they keep mentioning, something that keeps being brought up. That, and maybe all of the problems, but that main problem that you're thinking of is the problem that you build the solution for with software as a service. Now, obviously, some stuff you're not going to be able to build a solution for, but I imagine a lot of stuff you are. So if you essentially create entertainment content, then maybe there's a software as a service there, maybe there's not. But like if you're creating essentially anything B2B, there's almost certainly a software as a service you could create. But essentially it's finding problems that your audience have or your community has, and then creating a software solution that's online subscription based to solve that problem. And you do that with AI and AI agents. What used to take 3 years now takes about 2 or 3 months. And that's if you're really being bougie. If you want to do it quicker, you can probably do it in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not even joking. It's come so far. 2025 has been the birth year. Maybe it was happening before, but it wasn't good enough to get on my radar. But 2025 has been the birth year of AI coding, as well as, if not better than 95% of human coders. There's still a window of time where the best coders in the world are still going to beat out AI, but they're going to be slower than AI. They're just going to be able to understand super duper really technical weird stuff better than AI. But that window is closing. I predict by this time next year that'll be more like 99% plus of coders. AI and AI SaaS will be a better coder than the human equivalents. So the world's changing, and we're on the cusp of this change, and it's brand new. It's a big opportunity. Software as a service is as old as the internet. Been an industry for over 20 years, but being able to build it as normal people with AI is brand new as of this year. So it's like you're not in a saturated thing. Most people, they have to wait until everybody's doing it before they do it, and it's too late. But right now, you could build a piece of software that serves your community or your customer base using just natural language, and you could create this software and then you could sell it to them, right? It just feels like an absolute no-brainer. If you've got like, I don't know, 10,000 people in an audience, chances are you're gonna have a 6-figure launch. It's very hard to not make money. Right, so there's a guy, he's a guru, and I respect him, I like him, I'm not slagging him off, which is why I'm not gonna mention his name. He helped, I'm gonna do this a lot probably because I'm drunk, he helped an influencer with over 1 million followers, 1 million subscribers or whatever, make about 100K on some launch. Honestly, frankly, that's an embarrassing launch, right? If you've got 1 million plus subscribers or followers on any platform and your launch isn't at least multi-6 figures profit, then something went wrong. But he so proudly talks about this launch, everywhere he can, which I don't blame him for. I'm sure it's generating him a lot of business. But I look at it and go, oh, if only I could have had the chance to work with that guy would have made a whole lot more money. Because like I said, I refer back to my original point, actually, as much as I'm positioning myself currently as the make money with AI / AI SaaS guy, first and foremost, I'm a monetize audience guy. Been doing it a very long time, had a lot of success in it, and you can combine it. AI SaaS with monetizing an audience is the cheat code. So not everybody has an audience. 99% of my clients, in fact all of my clients that have come to me so far haven't had an audience. But I can't wait to work with somebody that has an audience, because they are absolutely gonna crush it. Because not only can we build an awesome AI SaaS product that perfectly targets their audience, but I can do nothing better than launch these things, right? That is my specialty. If you don't have an audience, that's a different game. You've got to grind it out in the early days, or you've got to beg, borrow, buy, or steal an audience, right? But like, if you have an audience, it's like, you know, them cheat codes you used to put in 80s games to give you maximum lives or maximum money. That's what it's like. If you have an audience or a community, you can't not make money with AI SaaS, as far as I'm concerned. So the moment somebody comes to me with an audience or with a community, and it makes sense, and I look at it and go, yeah, we can really work with this, we are gonna absolutely destroy it in a good way so quickly and make such a disgusting amount of money, right? The only reason why launching and building SaaS products is difficult is because you don't have anyone to build them to, which is why the primary method that I like to encourage people to do on this channel and to my coaching clients is, if you're launching a SaaS or an AI SaaS, if you can borrow somebody's audience for that, it's almost as good as having your own audience. Obviously, if you have your own audience, you don't have to share the spoils of war. But if you can borrow somebody's audience, maybe you pay them 20%, 30%, maybe even 50%, right? But it's the cheat code to a launch. So you can find somebody that has a community or a content creation group, following, audience of people that are your ideal customer profile, and you can just do a certain launch strategy and you can crush it with those people. I dare say it might be a little bit easier if it's not a little bit easier. It'll be a whole lot easier with your own audience, because what I've found with a lot of content creators and community owners is they're not very good at really promoting stuff. They're a bit crap. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand what I always talk about on my channel that I invented, the 3 R's: rate, review, recommend, right? If you're an audience owner and the SaaS founder is launching their product to your audience in return for a split of the profits made, then it's your audience. You're going to lend your credibility to the SaaS founder. So trying to get them to launch it on their own to your audience is not going to be as powerful as both of you launching it. You need to at least lend your credibility and authority, the fact that your audience, your community know, like, and trust you. You've got to lend that to the SaaS founder, right? So you've got to really know strategically, psychologically, the steps and the words to use to have a successful launch, even if you're launching with somebody's borrowed audience, right? But whether it's your audience and that's slam dunk done, game over, you're making 6 figures, unless it's like a 200 person audience, then you might struggle. But I mean, over time you probably make a lot of money anyway. But even with a 200 person audience, I've always said you don't need a big audience, you don't need 1 million people. If you can get 300 people that are super active, super hanging off your every word, and that might mean you've got a 3,000 person audience, but if you've got 300 people that actually care about what you've got to say, and you actually have credibility and authority in their eyes, you can't not make a 6-figure a year income by launching some AI SaaS to them. Earnings disclaimer, I'm not promising a penny, I never will on this channel or anywhere else, but honestly, it's that slam dunk, like taking candy off a baby if you know what you're doing strategically, psychologically, from a launch perspective. So messages I want you to take away from this video. One, if you have a community or an audience or access to a community or audience, building an AI SaaS product in a month, 2 months, might be the very best thing you ever did, right? Because it's not just the launch. Let's say you launch and you get 200 clients overnight, right? Those 200 clients could stay years, right? They're paying you every month. And when you get 200 clients, it doesn't usually stop there. Usually 200 clients breeds more clients. You might get 220 clients the next month by the fact that you just launched it, you know? Or 260 clients or 290 clients. Like, it's going to start growing on its own at that stage. So that launch pad of your own community or your own audience makes such a difference, right? So if you're watching this and you have a community or you have an audience, then please book a call and speak to me. Even if you don't want to learn what I've got to teach with regards to building an AI SaaS product, right? I've got people that will build it for you, right? I can get somebody, you'll have to pay them. Obviously, if you do it yourself, you don't have to pay anyone. It's less than $100 a month for the AI and the AI agents to run it. But if you're paying somebody, you're going to pay them for it. But I can look at your audience, look at the niche you target, and I'm like the Rain Man, right? And anyone that's worked with me in the past will know I can usually predict a launch to a few $1,000s either way. So if I say you're going to make 50 grand, I'd be shocked if you didn't make 50 grand. Like, it's probably going to be like 53 grand or 47 grand, like literally Rain Man, like savant. I can look at your audience, look at the product, look at the price point, understand the launch strategy, implement that launch strategy, and I can predict it usually within a few $1,000s. If I say you're going to make 200 grand on that launch, you're going to make about 200 grand on that launch. Obviously, I can't actually predict anything. It's just gut, intuition, experience, being able to see it because I've launched so many things over such a long period of time. So I could just look at it. So I could if you get on a call with me, bear in mind I'm closing my mentorship program on the 1st of December. I'm still going to work with people that are already in, but I'm not taking no new clients at least until next year. I don't know when. It could be summer next year. It could be January the 1st. I don't know. But not until next year. So if you're interested in working with me, if you've got an audience, if you've got a community, oh my gosh, I'm not always drunk. I drink about maybe once a month, maybe less. Yeah, probably less. So I'm not a drunk, even though I am a little bit tipsy now. But everything I've said, I would say it's sober. But I won't be driving a car, especially not in Dubai. Oh, fast track to jail. So, yeah. So if you've got an audience, if you've got a community, it's very easy to make a lot of money. And like I say, I've got guys that will build your software for you. It's going to cost you a whole lot more than having me teach you how to build it yourself. But I've got guys that will build it for you, right? With AI. So not 3 years and 300 grand like I've been paying over the years. It'd be maybe 2-3 months and X, you know? And maybe it's quicker depending on the solution. It could be a month, it could be 2 weeks. Right, but I've got people that will build it for you. We can build the sales process with the sales line. I can do the entire thing agency style. I typically teach it how you can do it, and that's the most cost-effective solution. I'm not cheap. I'm not even close to cheap. But for what you get, I'm not expensive either. I mean, it depends on your view of money, but like $23 million, over 23 years experience, building lifestyle passive income businesses online for over 2 decades successfully. I've not been forced out of this. How many people do you know that have been in business 25 years that haven't ended up back in a job after a year or two? I mean, I know what I'm doing. Either I'll teach you how to build it and sell it and launch it to your audience or community, or I can get my guys, and you can jump on a call with them, not a problem. I can get my guys to build it for you, and we'll build the sales process out, and we'll launch it for you, or at least lay out the entire strategy specific to you, figure out everything, the idea, the features, build the product, build the sales process, marketing, the launch, everything, right? So we can either kind of do it for you, or we can do it with you, whatever. I can do it with you, and we can launch it, and I can tell you right now, I'm so confident in it, in my abilities to look at what your audience is or your community is. I'm so confident that I can say you will make at least X, that if you don't, I'll pick up the tab. You don't pay anything. Like jump on a call with me, obviously, and let's chat about it. Don't just take Drunken Matt's word on it. I don't lie, and I'm very transparent, sometimes too transparent for my own good. But like, in certain circumstances, I'd be willing to put my money where my mouth is and say, I will guarantee this will make at least X, or you don't pay. So I don't want to get on calls with loads of people going, well, if you don't make $1 million in 10 seconds, Matt, I'm not paying you. No, we're going to be reasonable, we're going to be fair, but I'm very, very, very good at predicting what a launch is going to be like. I'm very rarely off the mark, and usually I'm scarily accurate to a few $1,000s. Now, that's not some challenge like one of them flip things on TikTok whereby, like if you flip and lose, like blah. Drunk, sorry. Anyway, that's the video. If you've got an audience or a community, it's a no-brainer to launch some AI SaaS. If you want me to look at your audience or your community, nothing would make me happier, because honestly, it's like printing money. It's the closest thing to printing money on demand as you'll ever get. And remember, you don't have any devs to pay, so running the tool will be extremely low cost. You build it once, yeah, you're going to do a few updates, you're going to do a few bug fixes over time, but with AI, it's super fast, super easy, super simple, super cheap. And it can essentially become a passive income, because after the launch, even if nobody else buys, chances are a whole bunch of your customers are going to stay months after a month, and maybe even years. I've had customers that have been with me for, they've said 10 years. I don't know if it's 10 years, but maybe it's 8. But since day one, I've had customers on my software since day one, right? And you could have the same. So we identify the problems in your niche, we build a product to solve those problems, we strategize and then do a launch to those people, and then you get a passive income potentially for years to come. And then we can put all the other stuff, the scaling stuff in place that can be just your launch pad to get you off to a head start. Maybe get 200, 300 customers overnight, and then maybe you add another 1,000 customers over the next 6 to 12 months. Well, if you can get to just 1,000 customers in 12 months, which you could do in one launch, depending on your audience, depending on your offer, depending on if you work with me or not. But if you can get to 1,000 customers and you're charging $50 a month, which is a very standard price point for a lot of SaaS, then you'd be on 50 grand a month, right? And if you double it to 2,000 customers over the next 12 months, you'd be on $1 million a year, or whatever it is. Don't quote me on my maths, bit drunk. But everything I've said in this video, I would say sober, apart from maybe my maths and maybe my slurring about software as a solution, although that's pretty good. But yeah, if you've got an audience or a community, especially in the health, wealth, relationships or passionate hobbies niche, or we could probably find something to sell them anyone. But then you are sitting on a gold mine, and especially since 2025, you can now build SaaS yourself. You're sitting on a gold mine. If you're not monetizing it, you are bonkers. You don't know how much money you are leaving on the table. And like I say, you don't even have to actually do anything if you don't want to. So book a call if you're interested. If you've got community or audience, please book a call. Could be a game-changing, life-changing call for you. And thanks for watching. I'm going to solo drink on my balcony in Dubai on a Saturday afternoon again. Until maybe we go for some food later. And I'm going for a meal tomorrow with a client, which is amazing. So a client you've actually seen on this channel, going for a meal with him because he moved to Dubai, and yeah, I've been meeting him for the first time. I keep threatening I'm going to cuddle him. I'm not gonna, don't worry. But thanks for watching. Bye bye.